So I opened the Find My iPhone app and I rang it. And what do you know? It starts ringing on the second floor of that house. So it was on the 27th of November, my sister's birthday. And my mom and my sister were actually out. They were getting their nails done at Pacific Mall. Now the plan was after they got their nails done, we would all go out to dinner together. But that was not what happened. I got a call from my sister, my little sister. She was with them. It was her being all panicked and saying,
"Someone stole Mom's bag."
Now my first reaction was, she probably just misplaced it somewhere. So I told her to look again. And no, they were very sure. See, the thing was, she went to the washroom and she put her bag down next to her in the stalls. And then she got up and she went out of the stall to wash her hands, forgetting her bag. But as soon as she turned back to grab it, knowing that she forgot it, it was gone. Now, after they were certain that her bag was gone, I decided, okay, I'm gonna use the iPhone tracker, Find My iPhone, in order to see where the location is. And for anyone that's used Find My iPhone, it's usually in a radius. It's never exactly at the location. So using that, I just told them where the general location was. And if you've been to Pacific Mall, it's massive. It doesn't really help, especially because Pacific Mall is so symmetrical. It's as easy to get lost inside as it is to get lost outside. So I would tell them which corner of the mall it would be, and reasonably, no one would know where to go. So I gave them instructions as clear as I could, but in the end, there was no use. The last thing I saw on Find My iPhone was that the phone was being taken out of the mall, and the person then turned off the phone. I told my mom and she freaked out. She lost it. She came home and she was not happy. The dinner plans have been canceled at this point. There's nothing we can do about it. Not only her phone, but her whole bag was gone, right? And that's where it really hit her, is that all her information was in that bag. And like, she had her phone book, like she had this tiny little book where she writes all her phone addresses on, and all her friends and stuff are on that book, and she just lost all of it. And so she was really upset. So I kept note on that phone to see if it would actually pop up again. I didn't think it would pop up again because nobody would be dumb enough to turn on the phone again, but in this case, they were. They turned on the phone again and I instantly got a notification for it. I didn't tell my mom, however, because I didn't want to give her a false sense of hope. Instead, I just told my sister, Jolie, and my brother, Jason, joined us, and we went to find out where the phone went. So we got around the neighborhood where the phone was at, and then the signal on the phone started spazzing out. It would say it's in this house, and then it would move houses. And you know, with the radius, it really is unclear where the phone actually ends up. I wasn't just about to knock on someone's door and go inside, or like demand that they release the phone, because that is an easy way to get yourself arrested. No, instead, we camped outside the general area where the phone was, and we waited. My sister, my brother, and I just waited there, figuring out what to do next. Finally, the signal started to focus on one area, this one house. But again, we didn't know if the person lived in the basement or even lived in that house, to be honest. It was just, a guess. So we did what we thought was the best option, and we actually contacted the police. They had already contacted the police earlier to tell them about the whole situation, and the police said that they would keep out an eye for it, but with this situation, it probably wasn't gonna get resolved anyways. We contacted the police and we told them, yeah, we have a location set. We think it's in this house. They said, okay, we're on our way. Within 10 minutes, there were 2 police officers that were willing to help us. But they said, again, they really have no jurisdiction there. They can't knock on any doors, and they can't go into somebody's house to search for a purse or a bag, right? And it makes sense because that would just be a crappy law if a police could just barge into your house, right? Without reason to believe that you're hiding something. So what the police suggested instead was that we knocked on the door and see if we can get any evidence so the police can investigate. And this is where it gets interesting. So now we approached the door and the police were waiting on the outside. My sister wanted to go straight in and accuse people of stealing stuff. I said, no, we're just gonna knock politely and check. So we knocked politely at first, right? And nobody answered. So I looked in a little bit deeper, and I definitely saw someone there. There was someone there just sitting down, not answering. So I knocked again, and I was like, hello, is anybody in there? And again, he did not answer. So what my sister did instead was, she banged on the door and said, we have the police out here, open up now. The guy scurried over. He was so fast. He opened the door straight away, and I felt so bad for a second. I was like, what if he's not the guy? This guy's gonna have a panic attack. There are police outside his house right now. So when he opened the door, my sister went crazy, like ballistic. Okay, she started yelling, and she was just like, you better give us the phone back now because we know it's in there. And the guy was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I really don't know, right? And she was like crazy. She was pressing on him. And I was like, this is borderline breaking the law. This is not okay. And while she was yelling, I was like, you know what? There's an easy way to solve this. So I opened the Find My iPhone app and I rang it. And what do you know? It starts ringing on the second floor of that house. As soon as it started ringing, I knew they had the phone. I knew they had the bag. So my sister heard it and she was just like, that's ringing. That's my mom's phone. It was in her purse. And the guy was like, what? Like, he tried to play it off at first, but he was like, I'll go investigate for you, right? Well, he goes upstairs to see what's happening. I run outside and I tell the police officers, yeah, I rang the phone and it rang upstairs. So then they start coming in because now they actually have reason to believe that this house stole my mom's things. When he came back down, he said he really didn't know what was happening, but his wife had the items. Now at this moment, I kind of believed him. I was like, maybe the wife was just being a little greedy and stole the things and didn't tell him about it. And so, we're processing things and he brought the phone down, but none of the other things. So then the wife came down and she said, this is all I have. I only have the phone. And my sister was like, then where's the stuff? Where's the items? Where's my mom's purse? Where's my mom's bag? All the stuff inside? Where is that? Now, the phone was enough evidence to prove that they had our stuff. So the police then said, if you do not return the items, we will come inside and check ourselves. And that part was when things got real, because then the police were getting aggravated, and then the husband said, go upstairs and get the stuff. And I was like, so he did know about it. The woman then goes upstairs and comes back down with the bag. My sister looks inside really quick and says, there's stuff missing. And she says, this is all I have. And the police then said again, if you do not fully return everything, we will be forced to come inside and check ourselves. And then the husband proceeds to start talking about how his son is a police officer as well. Like, what? So there I am translating, and I tell the police officers that his son is a police officer. And they said, what is his name? We'll actually search him up in the system. And then the husband freezes for a second, and he says, his name is Raymond. Okay. Well, one of the police officers go outside to check if the son was a police officer. The other police officer stays with us in order to proceed the investigation. The lady eventually comes down with everything, including the wallet, but now the wallet is empty. She expects us to believe that the wallet was empty when she found it. What? Like, what? If you're giving everything, shouldn't you just return everything already? Like, what are you doing? She brings us the wallet that's now empty, and we tell her, it's like, this is impossible. The wallet wasn't empty. And note that my mom actually had a lot of money in there because she was expecting to pay for my sister's dinner. So we're there asking where the money was, and she was like, I don't have it. And the husband was like, she doesn't have it, just leave us alone at this point. And then I was just like, no, we're not gonna leave you alone. You literally stole things, tried to hide it, and then now you're saying that you don't have the money. See, at this point, I thought I was pretty calm, but like, I was getting aggravated. These guys literally stole things and expect us to believe in their story. So as the situation progresses, the police officer is saying you should return their money, or we can actually escalate this to the court system. And then you'll owe them even more money, not including the legal fees. So at this point, this lady starts to act up. She starts talking about how she has a mental disorder and mental illness. And I'm just gonna say right now, mental disorders and mental illnesses are very serious, but not in the way she was using it. She said she had mental disorder and mental illnesses, and then proceeded to try to strip right there and then at the doorway of their house. She made it seem like she was crazy, and I had no idea what was going on. I didn't want to be there at this point, but I was like, there's nothing I can do about it. So at this point, the second police officer comes back in and says, there is no record of their son being a police officer in any region near us. So we tell them, and then suddenly he says, oh, he's actually a Marine. So at this point, the police officer that was with us the whole time was over it. He said, you know what, maybe we'll just arrest one of them. And I died there. I was like, you're literally just gonna arrest one of them. And he said, yeah, we have reason to believe that they stole your items, and now we actually have a reason to arrest them. And then I thought, as funny as that would be, I didn't want to escalate the situation to that. So I told the husband of the lady, hey, you know what, just give us back the money and we'll leave you guys be. We don't want any trouble. And then out comes the lady, yelling how crazy she is and saying how she's just gonna murder everybody. And the police officer is there just going like, what the hell is this girl talking? We should arrest her just for that. And then she started just talking about how it's better to be arrested than to live life. And we just had no idea what she was talking about at this point, because she started rambling about how she used to be a pirate, how she used to cross borders illegally, and how she used to sleep with a bunch of women. Saying it now, I definitely do believe she's crazy. So I started talking to the husband. I was just like, just give us the money, we'll be on our way. So the police officer then says, hey, I want this resolved, but if you're gonna resolve it like that, I can't be here for the resolution. So he goes out to his car. So the husband goes inside and he grabs the money. And he brings out the money and he gives us the money. And just like that, we were all on our way home. It was definitely a crazy night, and honestly, it's a night I'll never forget. Anyways, I hope you guys liked that video. I'm sorry about not uploading for the past like 2 to 3 weeks. And it's hard to actually get content through, considering I'm stuck at home all the time because of quarantine. I just hope everybody's safe and finding things to do during the quarantine. If you like this video, be sure to let me know. I can make more videos like this. I have tons of stories. And I'll see you guys later.